The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks, coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you could download the Radio Lex app to listen to the show anywhere in the entire world. I am broadcasting from the WLXU studios here in Lexington. My co-host Amber is broadcasting from her home. Amber, I hope you're having a good day. I usually like to start the show off with some positive stories, some positive vibes, but today I want to start the show off telling a story of what happened to me today. And we've talked about this before. We've talked about road rage in Lexington before and how dangerous it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very dangerous. And
Especially when it involves me.
Especially when it involves you, yes. But I was on the other receiving end of that, where...
Oh, you were on, like, the rage-getting side and not the rage-giving?
Yes, I was on the side... Yes, I was on the side where someone was giving me the rage. So, do you know in Hamburg where they have that McDonald's and they have Wendy's? That Wendy's attached to the gas station where that KFC, that Wendy's, that Taco Bell...
Yeah.
Yes, so... That McDonald's beside of there is always packed, and there's usually people sitting out in the road waiting to get in. And I wasn't going to McDonald's, I was going to Wendy's. And I noticed that, just like normal, people were sitting there in the road waiting with their turn signal on, waiting until enough cars got out of the way so they could pull into the McDonald's parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's what a couple people were doing. But there was this guy that apparently was not waiting to get into McDonald's. He was waiting to get into the Wendy's parking lot. Well, I didn't know that because there was still room in the Wendy's parking lot. So I pulled in the Wendy's parking lot, and he pulled up beside me and started going ballistic. Ballistic. What do you think I'm effing doing sitting here for my effing health? Or you think I'm sitting here
for... like, I don't know, bro. What are you doing?
And I said, what is he screaming about? So I rolled down my window and I said, what are you saying to me? He said, somebody's about to get their A whooped. I said, over a cheeseburger? I said, buddy. I said, look. I was like, I had no idea that you were wanting to get into this parking lot. I'm sorry. Here, just go in front of me. Well, you're lucky you ain't getting your A whooped. And of course... He had this little badge on the sleeve of his shoulder, so he was some type of law enforcement.
Okay.
And he was slick bald. I mean, slicker than Stone Cold Steve Austin bald.
Oh, man.
And he just looked like one of those police officers. You know how cops have that look? That certain look about them. They do.
That Steve Wilkos look.
They do. That's a good way to put it. But he looked just like that. And he was ready to whoop me over a Dave's Combo at Wendy's.
Well, don't stand between a man and his spicy chicken nuggets.
I said,
Have you not learned this?
It made me think, though, Amber, of how mad and how sad people have to be, and how on edge, I guess, people have to be, that at 12:30 on a Thursday afternoon, you are ready to give it all up. I mean, go to jail. You're willing to give your job up, your wife up, everything in your life up over a Wendy's cheeseburger because somebody made you that mad that you would have thought I would have killed his mom.
So, okay, set it up for me, okay? So I know that it's a two-lane road for people who have never been there, and there is a middle lane that's turning. Okay, so I'm assuming you get in the turning lane to turn.
I get into
this person. Like, did you go in front of this person or behind this person?
I was behind him, and I pulled in, and he immediately pulled into the Wendy's parking lot right beside me in line and started going ballistic. I'm talking screaming out his window at me because I jumped line. And when I didn't even know he was in line for Wendy's, I was like, man, if it means that much to you, I'm going to let you in front of me.
Well, I'm just so confused because I know that you and we've even covered it on the show, we don't skip line. We know how bad that is. So I'm just so curious as to what he was doing in that turning lane that he wouldn't just turning.
It was so confusing because I thought he was trying to get into the McDonald's parking lot because there was too many cars on there for him to pull in. But he he drove a big truck like all those tough guys do. He drove like an F-350, F-250, and I guess he needed more room than the average bear to get his car into the parking lot. So it confused me, and he almost wanted to fight me over it.
He was going to fight you over a Frosty.
He was ready, and it's just not been my day, Amber, because I also had to go to the post office again, and I didn't get to share my first experience going to the post office with everybody on the air, but I hate the post office. I do. I think if there is one place that you're going to almost walk out mad every time you go, it's the post office, because if you're like me and you don't go to the post office much...
Underprepared. You're very underprepared.
Yes, you go very underprepared because you're not post office savvy. You're not down on all the post office tricks and tips.
You ain't got the postal lingo down yet.
You don't. So I go into the post office. And should I share my first post office story first?
I wish you would, so people can understand why I'm laughing so much.
Okay, so the post office is just a horrible place to go. And the other day, I never go, but sometimes you got to when you want to mail a package out. Well, I am like this with everything. I procrastinate. And it was my mom's birthday. So I decided to buy my mom a birthday gift the day before her birthday and mail it to her. Which, hey, I didn't think was going to be a problem, right?
Everybody does it.
Everybody does it. There's this thing called overnight shipping, Amber. It's amazing, right?
Beautiful.
So I thought I could, go buy her a gift, overnight this gift, and she would be ecstatic. She would love it. She would be excited. So I show up to the post office, and I just show up with the gift, and what I bought her was a candle, like one of those. Okay. It was better than a Yankee candle. I don't know what the brand is, but it was some kind of candle, really expensive candle, and it was a card. Nothing crazy, just a little bitty tiny gift.
Okay.
And I didn't know what kind of box to put it in. I didn't know if you even put it in a box. So I was standing there in the post office just with my candle and my card exposed. And this was a long line. And because of COVID, everything is 10 times more longer. So I'm standing there in line, and I don't think there has ever been a nice person to ever work at a post office. But finally, it gets to be my turn. And I get up there to the post office, and this guy just looks at me like I have 3 heads attached on my shoulders. And he looked at me and said, "What are you going to do with that?" Well, I'm at a mail carrier. What do you think I'm going to do with it? I said, I don't really know what packages or what boxes to put these items in, so I was hoping maybe you could help me, and then we could be on my merry way, right? Well, no, he tells me, he doesn't give me any transparency. He tells me to just go pick from a wall of boxes that are on the wall, but I had to wait in line again after I was done. So I had to go to the back of the line. Mind you, already been there 30 minutes. Had to go to the back of the line, try to figure out what type of box to put it in, and at this point I'm mad. And I've scratched every box, I've tore every box coming and going, and it probably wasn't good with COVID going around, me touching all over these things. But all over everything. And then when I finally just stuffed my candle and my card in this box that I'm sure was way too big for the candle and the card, he gets up there to me and he tells me that I have to tape it myself. I have to do I have to write on it myself, write on the labels, and you know my penmanship's bad. It was just a mess. It was just a mess. And finally, I was in there after 60 minutes, Amber. And after 60 minutes, I finally got my package out and ready to go. But I went back again today.
Oh, gosh.
And I thought I could go more prepared.
I'm assuming you either did not or you come across another obstacle.
I come across another obstacle. So I was there. Okay. I decided to do a completely new post office because I was like, you get a bad post office experience your first time?
Go to another one.
Go to another one. So I go to another one, and Amber, this woman, she might have been the most hatefulest woman that God ever put breath in. And that's bad when I say that because I've ran across some hateful people before.
Yes.
And she was so hateful to me. She said, "Ain't you ever been to the post office before?" Like it was something that I do every day, because I didn't really know exactly. I wasn't prepared as I should have been this time either.
Okay, so what were you mailing this time?
I was trying to mail a book. It was a gift for someone that I had. I bought something for their birthday, and I was going to mail them out a gift, another last-minute thing. And it was another packaging problem. I put the book in something that was too small. It needed to be in a bigger box. But I was like, if you guys would just help me from the beginning, we could avoid all this.
I wish you would just call me and let me help you from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because I do speak the lingo of the postal office.
Yeah. Mailboxes, mail carriers, things like that. I don't get along with it too much.
I do got a very serious question for you talking about mail. Have you been getting mail?
Mail?
Yeah.
The only thing that I ever get in mailboxes these days is junk mail.
Well, we used to get the occasional bill. Sometimes the postman would make it rain bills in our mailbox. But I swear to you, in the last 3 weeks, I don't think we've gotten anything other than like a flyer.
Well, it's because, Amber, it's interesting that you say that because decades, I'm talking even early 2000s, people would wait by their mailboxes for a letter from a friend or an important document. Mail day was so exciting. Back in the day, checking your mail, it wasn't a chore, it was excitement because all of your correspondence came through the mail, whether it was a letter, whether it was a package from somebody.
And that's also how you got your news, because you would get your magazines straight through the mail.
You would get your newspapers through the mail. Absolutely. Yep. Everything had to come through mail. But because now of scanning and email and fax machines, you don't have that anymore. So mail is not as exciting anymore because you can receive so many different things in so many different ways.
Quicker.
Yes.
And quicker, much quicker.
But back in the day, all correspondence came to a mail. Even if you wanted to hire somebody or fire somebody officially, you FedExed it to them. You mailed it to them.
You mailed it to them.
You gave them which FedEx and UPS is its own thing. But mailing in general, the U.S. Postal Mail Service, it's kind of had a decline in the last decade or so.
Oh, yes, it really has. Auto bill pay and things like that.
Yeah. And most important documents now aren't even mailed through postal mail. Like we've talked about, UPS and FedEx. Both carriers have seen huge rises in the last 10 years. But I don't think that the mail will ever 100% disappear or go away.
No.
Because it's just too much. It's too large. It has too large of a history.
Yes. No, I don't think it'll ever go away. It's weird now because it's fewer and far between that I'm getting physical pieces of mail, I guess, that are worth anything.
Right. And plus you also have to think of these logistical areas, these small rural areas. UPS, FedEx, they don't deliver in places like that. The U.S. Postal Mail is the only place that's going to go into these haulers and give Mama and Papa all their mail. In 2013, Amber, did you know that politicians made a move to cut Saturday mail deliveries? Did you ever hear about that?
I don't. Maybe.
You don't remember the talk, that rumor going around that they were going to cut a few days out of the week out of mail? Because it was becoming more and more scarce. Yeah, so that actually really was a thing. That wasn't just hearsay. In 2013, they actually tried to maybe cut Saturdays. Just mail things Monday through Friday, but cut Saturdays. And it would have ended up saving the United States Postal Mail Service $2 billion.
Why did we not cut out Saturday shipping then? Saturday delivery?
I just don't think it's ever going to go away. I don't.
Probably not.
Eventually, if anything, they might do something like that. Maybe cut out a Saturday, cut out a day of the week. But 100%, I don't think it's ever going to go away. And the mail, if you really think about the mail, it's a fascinating thing. It's so powerful. You could terrorize a country through mail. Remember anthrax?
Yes, that is very true.
Anthrax back in 2001, when that whole thing was happening, they were sending anthrax through what?
The mail.
Postal mail. They were sending just undisclosed packages through people's mail and putting it in envelopes and just sending it to people. And when they would open it up, they would be exposed to anthrax. And there was several other things that they could have used in our postal mail. Think about this. When you receive a letter, you don't wash your mail off. You don't clean your mail off. Some people are now, but for the most part, people don't do that. And for the most part, what do we start doing? We just start tearing through things and looking through things without any consequences of what may happen or be negative from that package that we sent. People could squeeze things by the Postal Mail Service. They do
all the time.
They could send you drugs in the mail. How many times do you think people have gotten their drugs via postal United States mail?
I'm sure a lot of people have gotten drugs via the postal mail. A lot.
Yeah. I guess they could just beg for forgiveness later, saying, oh, well, I didn't know that was what it was.
I didn't know I ordered Mary Jane.
Yeah.
I thought I ordered Mary Jane.
These online pharmacy companies that sell prescription medicine online, you can receive these things through postal mail. You can receive generic Viagra pills. Not that I know from experience, but you can receive Percocets, Loratabs. You can receive.
What was it on American Hollow? He was waiting to get in the mail his prescription. Lonzo.
Oh, it was some type of. It was his crazy medicine. Was it
Prozac?
Yeah.
I think it was Prozac. Okay.
But yes, very powerful thing. And like I said, now all you see in the mail is just junk. I mean, when I open my mailbox out, I'm always seeing a deal for couches and cigars.
I don't get anything, so apparently they think I'm good on couches and cigars.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Off the Cuff after these words. Stick with us. Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you, broadcasting from the WLXU studios here in Lexington, and Amber is at her home studio in Lexington. Amber, the first day of school is approaching, whether it be for high schoolers, whether it be for college students. And yes, it's a little different, and it looks a little different because of COVID. Some schools have decided to do all online. Some schools have decided to open back up. But for the kids opening back up, they're getting that feeling. They're getting that August flush feeling of school starting back. You know that feeling I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Ain't nothing like the first day of school.
Everybody, all the kids, everybody going back to school, getting ready for that very first famous day of school. They got to do their school shopping. Were you one of these kids that did school shopping growing up, where it was an actual event?
So, any chance I can get to talk about how crappy my childhood was, I'll take it. But no, school shopping was not something that I was ever really allowed to do. I remember there were multiple years that I wasn't even allowed to go buy new clothes, period. So, no, I just really dug the whole first day and seeing everybody, but not the clothes.
So did you ever go out and get, maybe, you didn't really go school shopping, but did you at least go out and get one killer outfit for your first day of school?
I'm sure I probably got like one killer outfit.
So what are some of the things that you used to wear your first day of school?
Oh, let's see. Let me think. First day of school. Okay, senior year of high school, I think I wore khakis. Okay. And, that was the trend for me that year.
Were you 45 years old wearing khakis?
Maybe. But I think I had a silver shirt on, because you remember silver was my favorite color, right, or is my favorite color.
But no juicy pants.
No, I did not have one cheek with the CY going one way and the other with.
Did you not have even a choker on your neck or anything like that? No choker?
Oh, now I did have chokers in like the 7th grade. I did.
Did you wear them on the first day of school?
I actually did. You know what? I have a school photo of me with a choker on, and I have deliberately not shown it to you for that very reason, because I know you would make fun of me.
Yeah, well, it's funny when you look back and you look at some of your outfits. I always looked fly as could be for somebody that was going to the first day of school. But let me tell you something. After looking back at through the years of all of my first day of school pictures, and really just looking back through pictures of people my age growing up, Abercrombie and Fitch might have been the biggest thing since sliced bread during that time. Abercrombie and Fitch, Amber, do you remember how much that exploded in the early 2000s?
Yeah,
kids, only the cool kids wore Abercrombie and Fitch. It was targeted towards the cool kids. Everybody tried to get their hands on it, but they targeted towards the cool kids. In the 1990s, this fella named Mike Jeffries became CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, and he wanted to focus on Abercrombie and Fitch and his clothes. He wanted to focus that brand on youth. Now, Abercrombie didn't always used to be about youth. Abercrombie, if you even look at it, it says established in like 18-something. If you look at it, it wasn't targeted to what it is back in 2000s. It was targeted for like army and military things. But when this new CEO, Mike Jeffries, got a hold of Abercrombie and Fitch, he targeted that clothing brand towards the youth. But Abercrombie and Fitch, Amber, it made you feel some type of way. It made you feel very self-conscious because the clothes were very expensive. They only fit a certain style, a certain body type. The people, the workers that used to work there only had a certain look. They were all very attractive. They even had models at the door of Abercrombie and Fitch.
That was a good time.
A male model with a shirt off, and then they'd have a female model with a bathing suit on. And
I could do without her.
And it was just ridiculous, and it made you think, my God, is this what I'm going to look like if I wear these clothes? If I go into Abercrombie and Fitch, am I going to come out looking like you? And you see these male models, these female models at the door of Abercrombie and Fitch wearing these Abercrombie and Fitch clothes. It made you feel some type of way about yourself.
Superior.
It made you feel superior when you wore those clothes, but did you ever get anxious ever walking around that store, in that store, because of how they targeted body types and how they targeted people and image? They were all about image. Did you ever feel like they were looking at you saying, "Ooh, God, what is she doing in the store?"
Yes, all the time. I would walk in there and I would be like, okay, I've got a little money I could spend one of the times I could go school shopping.
Right, because Abercrombie meant you had money, because it was expensive clothes. Even clothes on clearance was still an expensive.
Expensive.
It was still expensive. But anyway.
But no, I mean, I would feel like I would walk in there and, all of my friends were smaller. And of course they would be like, oh, if there's anything I can help you with, please let us know. And they would be like, oh, are you with them? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm with them. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then they would walk away. Like, I did not get asked if there's anything you need, let us know, because I always felt like they were looking at me saying, oh yeah, fat girl, you can't wear anything in here. Yeah. We can't help you.
That is what they were saying. That's what they were saying.
Julia Roberts.
In 2006, the CEO, Mike Jeffries, he said that's why we hire good-looking people in our stores, because good-looking people attract other good-looking people, and we want to market to cool, good-looking people. We don't market to anyone other than that. So he was very stern with his belief, and the image and the perception that he was trying to get out there to the world of what Abercrombie and Fitch was, he succeeded, because now we're talking about it today.
That's true.
Of course, it's changed. It's not like how it is now, but back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I would say the whole decade of the 2000s, 2000 to 2010, Abercrombie and Fitch, you could not touch it.
No, not at all.
So they did start getting a lot of backlash.
Heat.
A lot of heat. Yes. A lot of company controversies. So they tried to rebuild, and they started offering clothes to larger sizes in 2013. And plus, as things change, Amber, I said 2010 is kind of when they really started taking a hit, where people really wasn't buying their clothes. It's because it's a new generation. And with new generations means new mindsets, new personalities, new outlooks. People started to focus on cheaper brands, man, like Forever 21 and Nike, because it's funny that I say Nike was cheap, but compared to Abercrombie and Fitch, it was.
Yeah.
How much was a pair of Abercrombie and Fitch jeans?
Too much, because any price you say is going to be too much.
$280 for an average female price of jeans. $275 average price for a pair of jeans for a male, and they had holes all in them. You couldn't even walk around, and I get that's the style that they were trying to portray, but there was really no purpose.
No, and I swear I remember one time I had on some Holy jeans, and my grandmother asked me if I wanted her to sew them up for me.
Yeah. So
could you imagine paying that amount of money for a pair of jeans, and your granny asks you if you need them to be fixed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's outrageous.
But I always wondered. I was wondering if people still shop at Abercrombie and Fitch, because you don't see many people walking into the store like you used to see people walk into the store.
Not at all.
According to Business Insider, they say one of the biggest reasons for that is because teens stopped visiting the shopping mall by 30% in 2014 compared to the early 2000s. So people weren't going to the malls anymore. And how many Abercrombie and Fitch standalone stores do you remember seeing?
Not many.
Not many. Also, in 2014, that Jeffries dude, that CEO who had that vision to market towards youth, he retired.
Yeah, well, I think he made some very bad comments in 2013 that really, I don't think it was like a voluntarily he retired. I think he was forced into retirement due to his comments regarding people who were heavier. He didn't cater to fat people.
Yeah, and he didn't care to say it. Like I said, he quoted in 2006 that he is only interested in marketing to cool, good-looking people. And how funny is that he considered people who wore Abercrombie and Fitch cool, good-looking people?
I just want... I implore people to use Google to see what this gentleman looks like. If he was targeting cool, good-looking people, then, baby, you missed yourself by a long shot.
So when he retired, they did a complete revamp of Abercrombie, and that's probably why the Abercrombie is still in existence today, because if it kept its same marketing plan, it wouldn't survive in 2020.
No, not at all.
So the shirtless male greeters, they're gone. They're no longer standing outside by the store. Sorry to disappoint you.
That I can get behind.
They did away with their big moose logos and their big A and F logos. As in most companies, nobody wants to walk around seeing a big A and F on their shirt or a big A and E on their shirt or even Hollister on your shirt. Nobody wants to see big bulky letters on T-shirts anymore. The style has changed. So they now have their clothes to where you can't even tell what it is. And people are thinking in their head, well, if you can't even tell what this is, why am I buying it? Because back in the day, I wouldn't buy something that was Abercrombie unless it had Abercrombie on it. Because I wanted people to see that I bought it. But you got to think, that's a 14-year-old saying that.
True, that's what I was going to say, but look how old you were when you were thinking that. Now, you love to rock a plain tee. You're always rocking plain tees. No lettering whatsoever.
Oh, a plain tee is that is a plain tee. Plain clothes, to me, is my forte. In the winter, catch me in a hoodie. In the summer, catch me in a plain tee.
No logos.
And no logos, no big lettering, nothing like that. And it says that the Business Insider also named the brand the biggest retail comeback of 2018.
Oh, okay.
Looking at both the company's sales and rebrand, it says customers also had a more positive overall impression of the brand according to data from YouGov. So the dimly lit stores, the big loud music, Abercrombie and Fitch apparently isn't like that anymore. I think we should go into Abercrombie and Fitch, walk around and see how different it really is.
I am down to go.
Because it has really been years since I have been in that store.
Yes.
It smells amazing.
It smells like a migraine.
A migraine?
Yes.
A migraine waiting to happen.
Probably just full on migraine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We got lots more off the cuff coming up after these words. Stick with us. Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you, broadcasting from the WLXU studios here in Lexington. Amber is also joining me at her house and her home studio. Everybody has been asking me, Adam, where have you been? I haven't seen you on ABC 36 in a while. Midday, Kentucky. Back in the day, you saw me on there all the time, and I guess I haven't addressed it in months of what's happened there and what's going on. So let me give everybody a little update on what's going on with the whole Midday, Kentucky thing. Since COVID hit, they wasn't allowing any guest host to come in and be hosting the show, and that's still how it is right now. So they have taken Midday Kentucky off the schedule. I don't know if it's coming back. I don't know. It might. Things are so different now because of COVID. Who knows what things are going to look like? Midday Kentucky was a show that was very audience-oriented, and I'm not saying studio audience, but it was very really audience-oriented isn't the word I'm looking for. It's more guest-oriented. And right now we can't have guests, so there's really no purpose. So the only thing that you're seeing right now during that midday hour is just 30 minutes of news from 12 to 12:30. And at 12:30, what used to be midday was the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire show has replaced it. But it's not even the Regis one.
With Regis?
No.
Oh, man.
It's not even with Regis. But I wanted to give everybody a little update on Midday Kentucky. Hopefully I'll be back, but who knows how things are going to be post COVID-19. We're all trying to figure this out together. But yeah, even game shows, Amber, new game shows, new TV fall lineup shows. It's all supposed to be coming back very, very soon. The normal time slot is usually the end of September. When are these TV shows going back? Are they filming right now?
I think there are definitely things that are filming right now. I know Netflix has a lot of different series that they've got going out right now, and I think Amazon might have a few things that they're working on. So I know we're going to get new fall shows. I just don't know if they're going to be on television or are we going to only get streaming shows.
And what are these shows going to look like when they return? When Ellen returns, when Fallon returns, are they going to have the same energy? Are they still going to have that same touchy-feely that they usually have, that interaction that they usually have on shows? Or is that just going to be something that's gone away forever now?
I mean, the first question is, do we really think Ellen's going to come back?
She says she is. The reports that I've been hearing is that Ellen is coming back for an 18th season. But why would she quit? I mean,
true.
Don't lay down and let people talk about you without giving at least a little bit of a fight. She's got more fight in her than that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to give everybody a little update on that. But yeah, I'm curious to see what these shows are going to look like. I hope that The Price is Right is still as energetic as it always has been back in the day.
Let's hope. If not, maybe we can start pitching like you hosting a show. We just need to like formulate what we want our game show or television show to be like.
Right. I mean,
it could be you could do like off the cuff style talking mixed with like the best board game like playoff.
I told you if I ever do a show, it's going to be a very Sally Jesse Raphael type show. It's going to be a very Jerry Springer Geraldo type of show, and the world needs that right now. We need that trash TV back in our life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take Off the Cuffs Song of the Week break. I'm excited to play this one for you. This is from a group that you ain't probably heard in a while. I wish they had kids like this still performing songs like this instead of the kids like Justin Bieber and Harry Styles. Because back in the day, Another Bad Creation, they put out a banger with this Playground song. So ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, enjoy the song, and we'll be right back. Whatever happened to these kids? You hear a little twist, you hear people like that little Bow Wow, but whatever happened to Another Bad Creation? Did they just fall off the map?
I just don't think that boy bands are a thing anymore.
All right. I gave out our phone number to our Facebook live stream listeners, and I am excited to hear some of the phone calls that we're going to get, and I will eventually give it out on the air. But let's go ahead and take our first caller from our... You know, Amber, it's been so long since I've been able to actually hear people on the phone, so hopefully this actually works. Hello, are you there? Hello? Hello?
Hey, is this the show?
Yes, this is the show. You are on the air. Who is this?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Who am I speaking with?
You're talking to Tim from Lexington, Kentucky.
Tim from Lexington. Nice to hear from you, Tim. And what do we owe your call this evening?
Well, Adam, if you don't mind, I just had a few questions for you.
Yes.
Is everybody going back to school like August 26th, or is it all virtual, or like?
You know, that is something that you might want to check on the Fayette County well, not actually Fayette County, but is it the CDC? Amber can't hear my call. She's usually the one to help me out. I don't know, Tim, if schools are going virtually or in person. I think they've decided to make it some type of a mix to where some counties are going in person if they want, but they can go online if they want. I think it's just county by county. I don't think they've made an official state thing yet. You got kids?
Well, I do. I have a child, and he's in preschool, and, like, they've allowed them to come back. So, like, I didn't really know the difference between, like a preschool and, like, an actual school.
Right. Yeah, well, I don't think that a preschool would fall under the same funding as public school systems. I could be wrong, but I would think that it's its own entity. I would think that whatever public schools is saying, I would just double check to make sure that your preschool, whatever preschool your son or daughter goes to, that they are that preschool is affiliated with public schools, because they might have their own rules and system.
Right. If I could I ask you a question about UK basketball?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Has the SEC come out and said that they're going to cancel their season, like the Ivy League schools or anything have?
Well, the SEC, are you talking about football?
Just anything, basketball, football.
So as far as football goes, they are only going to be playing conference games. So only conference schools are going to be played during UK's football season. I know that. So are you a UK football fan?
I am. And, the NBA's got the bubble. Are they going to have fans in?
That's one of those things where it's kind of up in the air still on whether or not they're going to have fans. I don't know. Right now, they just have cardboard boxes and silhouettes of people in the audience. It looks ridiculous if you ask me.
I know. I'm thinking about paying to get my face in the stand.
I've actually thought about that too, Tim, of putting my face in the stand. But I appreciate you calling, and I appreciate you listening, and you take care of yourself, okay?
Thanks a lot. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Amber, I'm going to have to turn you back on here, and I'm going to have to hang up on Tim, because I was not expecting these questions that old Tim was asking me.
It was wine 44 over here for me. Wine at 4:44.
Okay, well, we got some more callers. I knew it was going to be like this when I opened the phones up. I wasn't going to be able to continue with any callers. But ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call in, 859-721-5690. That's 859-721-5690. You can call in, and I'll put you on the air regardless of who you are and what kind of questions that you got. But let's see who's calling in right now. Who we got on the line? Who we got on the line? Okay, we got a no signal person on the line. Okay, well, call back maybe. Maybe this was a mistake opening the phone lines. I need a producer to screen my calls. That's what I need. No, I need somebody to volunteer. Anyway. Sorry.
I'm so sad I can't be there to enjoy the phone.
Yeah, I know.
Normally, guys, when I'm there, I can hear as well.
Yeah, I got people calling now, left and right. The lines are blowing up, ladies and gentlemen. And we are live here at WLXU. So if you call in, you are going to get on the air. Should I answer this?
Take another caller.
All right, I'm going to take another caller. Hello, are you there?
I am here.
Oh my God, I know this voice.
Hi, Adam.
Nellie Walker Gibson, ladies and gentlemen, is on the phone right now. Nellie, how are you?
I am doing pretty well.
Nellie, what do I owe this wonderful occasion for you calling into the show?
Just basically want to call you and Amber and tell you how great of a job you guys are doing, and that I love you guys and miss you.
Well, miss you too, ladies and gentlemen. Nellie is the original co-host of Off the Cuff. She broadcasted over 80-something episodes with me, and it's always good to hear from her. So, Nellie, thank you so much. Love you much, and thanks for calling in.
All righty. I did want to make a comment. I do think schools should be about the schools when they're opening.
Yeah.
I think they should wait till the first of the year.
You do?
Yes, I do. I think they should go virtual and not open until the first of the year.
Yeah, but Nellie, don't you think though that these kids they're needing to have that socialization with other kids? I mean, don't you think they're getting tired sitting at the house all day long?
I do, but I do think it's a little scary with the new cases and stuff being up so much. And these are children.
Yeah.
These are little guys. I know there's high school kids and stuff which are going to be less likely to wear masks if they're optional for their particular school. But I just feel like, is it worth losing the lives of these kids?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's worth losing the life of the kids, and you do make a very interesting point. So the governor's got a lot of tough decisions to make. I don't know if it's really his decision final call or if it's the superintendents of each county's final call, but major decisions are having to come because of COVID. It's affected everybody, and I really do feel bad for our kids, and I talked about that all show last week about how it affects our kids. So thank you for bringing in that point, Nellie, and it's always a pleasure to hear from you.
You guys too. Take care.
Love you much. That was Nellie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as much as I loved having the phones open, I'm going to have to shut them off. That was too much stress on me. I
know. I felt so excluded.
You couldn't hear those, could you?
No, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, because I've got Amber plugged into this port to where she can't hear anything, so... All right. Yeah. Well, folks, there are people calling in currently right now. I promise I'm going to have a whole show. I'm going to have a whole episode of nothing but calls. And when that happens...
Just wait till I'm there.
Yeah, it will be when you're there. And it's going to be... Watch that be the episode that nobody calls in.
I know.
But I'm going to one day have an episode where there's going to be so many callers call in if you want. We'll just have the whole hour of just callers. But I've missed you guys, and it was good to hear from the two that I heard from. Tim, who I don't know, and then... Nellie, who I know really well. So it was good to hear from both. All right, Amber, before I took the calls and off-the-cuff song of the week, everybody's talking about kids going back to school and all that good stuff. Not only have kids been affected by this, but adults have too. I mean, we're working from home. We're working from home, and we're having to use Zoom. You talk about affecting our physical and mental health. It takes a toll on your body. I mean, has it not for you as well?
I really tried to make this a positive experience. So I'm going to say I'm the oddity, but I can see how this would be very detrimental to other people.
Right. Yeah. And if there has been anybody to make changes, it's definitely the social media companies. Facebook, Twitter, Zillow, Spotify, they have all said that they are permanently going to work from home. And it makes me wonder, is this going to be a trend in other companies? Are companies that could virtually do everything, if companies technically could do everything from home, are they just going to follow suit and just tell employees that they don't ever have to show back up to a physical work environment?
I mean, I know that Google has already stated that executives will not be coming back till 2021. So, I mean, what better company to kind of flagship this? But I think it could definitely be something that we see going further in the future.
But don't you think people work better when they're in the room together? Don't you think people work better on the same things when they're gathered and there's governance?
I mean, sometimes, yes. Trust me, I love my cohorts and being around people, but there are definitely some times that I'm like, man, I could do this from the house, probably get more done.
Right. Yeah.
I could go to like a 25% work week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have to take another break before we come back with our last segment, so stick with us. We'll be right back after these words. Broke up with my girl last night, so I went to the club. Put on a fresh white. Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Last segment of the hour, broadcasting from the WLXU studios. Amber is broadcasting from her home. We were talking about working from home, and Chris on the show thread, he says, one of my customers is working from home until at least the spring of 2021. So, yeah, people are starting to do this. This is becoming a trend where people are going to allow their employees to work from home. Buddy, I bet you Zoom is popping champagne and wine toasting and beer toasting all day long because of COVID.
I mean, I have to agree with you on that. I mean, I'm sure Zoom has probably seen a huge rise in their stock.
I mean, you think about it. We even use this software, Zoom, to broadcast our radio show now, and everybody is using Zoom. Everybody's using that equipment. And as an instructor, as a college professor, I teach online, and it's so funny because I've been able to see an open window into my students' homes, and I get to see some of the things that they are doing.
I really am curious, like, what you guys think when you're seeing our backgrounds.
The same things you're thinking when you see our backgrounds. And
Okay.
I've already went and told you, everybody who listens to the show knows how I feel about beds in the background during a Zoom call. Don't have your bed in the background during a Zoom call. That's very seductive, it's very unprofessional, and it's very tacky. Don't put your bed behind you if you're doing a Zoom call. If you're doing a lecture, if you're doing a presentation, don't sit in front of your bed. Just try to think of another place to go to do your Zoom calls.
Unless you're trying to be seductive.
There's many, unless you're trying to be seductive, but that's another type of Zoom call. There are many types of Zoom callers. Which Zoom caller are you? And I have a list here of different Zoom callers, and I want you to explain to me, Amber, if you are this type of Zoom caller or if you have ever come into contact with a Zoom caller. There is the unmuted multitasker.
Yes.
That's the person who...
That's usually me.
Who keeps their microphone on, but they feel like, for some reason, they want to keep it on, but they won't sit still, and they're shuffling through everything.
Mm-hmm. That's me.
Do y'all not know that there is an off switch on that?
Huh? I don't think about it in the time. You know, I physically mute myself on here to decrease background noise. But if I'm doing a presentation for some people I know, y'all gonna hear my papers ruffle.
There is the microphone misunderstander, the person who has the weak microphone. There is the confused parent, the parent that's on the Zoom call always saying, "Oh, what a cool background. How did you do that? Are you really in Vegas?" No, that's just a virtual background. And then you got the person who is always on a tropical vacation on Zoom, whether it's at the beach or at Times Square or someplace ridiculous. And they're really cheap, too, these backgrounds. And you've got the dog. Basically, you got the dog's co-stars. If you have a Zoom caller where the dog is your co-star, where basically nobody cares about what you're doing except your dog. Because think about it, when a dog walks on camera, everybody in the Zoom call stops to see what the dog's going to do. And the reason I think for that is because everybody knows that they're being recorded. Everybody knows that they're on Zoom, so they're on their best behavior. Mm-hmm. Dogs don't know that they're being recorded. Neither do they know that they're being watched.
And they don't care.
And they don't care.
They don't care.
So they're going to do anything, and they're going to be their authentic self. So people want to see what your dog's going to do.
People get to see what mine do all the time.
Yeah, like last week, Fat Cat got up in your lap and scratched you.
Fat Cat made his debut.
While we were on the air.
Yes.
I know.
How rude.
Yeah, there's so many different Zoom callers. So which one are you? And there's other Zoom caller.
Well, I have to ask, Banks, which one do you think you are?
See, I'm the Zoom caller that always loses my voice because I'm constantly the one having to talk on Zoom.
I feel that. So your back hurts by the end of a Zoom call from carrying the whole conversation.
Yes, I've really thought about building a virtual classroom where I can stand up and teach because I've never taught sitting down ever in my entire life until the last 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan.
We just need to get you a podium.
Yeah. As long as I build my atmosphere, I'll be able to do it. I'll be able to have a nice Zoom virtual classroom. But yeah, Zoom has definitely won out of this. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for Off the Cuff to say its goodbyes for this week. I always want to say a big thank you for those listening and for those listening on the Facebook Live and on the air on WLXU 93.9. You can follow Amber Turner, the co-host, at Ambu447 on all social media. You can follow me, Adam Banks, the host, on all social media at The Adam Banks. You can follow Off the Cuff on Facebook at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can stream all of our previous episodes on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever podcast streaming is available. If you haven't downloaded the Radio Lex app, yet do it to listen to new episodes live every Thursday from 4 to 5, and that's when we'll see you again next Thursday from 4 to 5. That is Amber Turner. I'm Adam Banks, and this is Off the Cuff. We'll see you next week. Yes.
Wait, I have something I would like to say before we leave.
Okay, well, let me shut it down. We got 2 minutes, and the floor is yours.
I know. So you guys know that I am actively being involved right now with women empowerment and weight loss, and I did want to pass along that there is a great event that is happening tonight live on Instagram. Very, very, very talented friend by the name of Natasha Rachel is hosting a boudoir posing 101 sexier photos from home. I know a lot of people asked about my sexy photo. So if you would like to check out that live stream, again, it is on Instagram. You can follow that on Natasha Rachel, Rachel photography. Again, that's Natasha, Rachel photography.
All right. Appreciate it very much. And she's really good, folks, too, with her work. So
very talented.
Check that out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to go. We'll catch you down the road.